Hello. Who did the virtual crop last weekend? Who else was a little bit confused? I thought it was the first weekend in February, but I realized it's the first full weekend. So that just meant that I scrapbooked 2 weekends in a row, which was awesome. Got lots of pages done. I hope you did too. If you are not in the Creative Memories virtual crop group, I highly recommend you get there. They post wonderful ideas every single month. And then I take those ideas and I show you how to build them on Fast to Fab, and I teach you some fun tips along the way. Now, this week is chock full of little tiny tidbits, so I hope that you are as excited as I am. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So let's take a look. This sketch was the first one in the virtual crop, and it shows that it has a border down the side. And then it shows that it has these beautiful overlapping papers, and then these pages. So we're going to do some cutting circles in half. We're going to do some peekaboo things. We're going to do how to conserve paper, all in one quick video. So this is the page that I ended up with. I'm super happy with it. Noteworthy is to die for. It is my favorite. Hey, Cindy, thanks for being here. This is my favorite collection right now. I always have a favorite. I can't help myself. It's not like kids. You're allowed to have a favorite product, so that's good. So let's go ahead and get this done. So bring my supplies over here. I am going to make a matching page to go on the other side. So this is wonderful. One of my goals for the year was to get my scrapbooking done while teaching other people fun tricks. So I used a page. I'm just going to mirror it, so it's going to be the exact opposite. But I used a page that had a border down the side already because look, this saves me so much time and money because this is already here. I don't have to think about that. Then I'm going to layer on my papers. So easy to choose papers when you use the Fast to Fab because it all goes together. So let's go ahead and do that part. And I'll show you how to conserve some paper while we're doing it because I went to do my cut and I'm like, I can make this even better. So the first piece that you need, it tells you right on the sketch, is 9 by 11. So we're going to cut a 9 by 11 piece from this pretty dotted paper. Hello, Raina. Yes, noteworthy for the win, right? That's what I'm using in my CCI class this weekend too. If you don't do Creative Cafe International with us, I highly recommend it. You're going to get 12 classes, 6 main ones, 6 mini ones, all in the course of one weekend, and they're recorded. So you're going to do your 9 by 11 cut, but you're going to overlap a piece of paper with this. So what I did was I thought, well, I really like this paper. Look, I like both sides of it a lot. I want to use that more. So I cut out some of the center. So I need it to go all the way across the top. I need it to go all the way across the bottom. But the side, I don't really need all the paper in the side. So if you bring it up and you just measure over about 1.5 inches and bring this down about 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to stop before I get to the bottom. And I'm going to turn it. And then you're just going to line up that cut line right with that. You don't have to have perfect measurements here because you're just cutting the center out. So I didn't do a whole lot of measuring here. I just cut the center out to use for a later thing, okay? So I didn't go all the way to the edge because I didn't do an exact cut. And this is how you just get it done real fast, guys. You don't have to be exact about every little thing you do. But now look, I have this to use for something later, so that makes me happy. And then I'm going to put this down onto my page. So that's going to go there. And now I need this piece right here. And they give us measurements on the sketches now, which is awesome. So now I just need an 8 by 10 from this. Now I cut a border over here so there's triangles. So I'm going to turn it this way. And these are little things that you want to think about along the way, right? Because it would be so easy to just put it in and have those triangles there. So I need an 8 by 10. Yes, it makes the pages not so heavy. And when you have not so heavy pages, you can put more pictures in there, right? Okay, so this is going to go down over top of here. So, since I'm not an exact measurement girl, I go like this. This helps me get things done really fast and quick. I just line it up. So this one's going to go all the way to the bottom, so I didn't even have to worry about it. I was thinking that I needed to line it up with the one next to it, but it's going all the way to the bottom. So I don't even have to think at all. I love not having to think at all. Then it could just be our happy place. Like, right? Scrapbooking's our happy place. Okay, so then I'm going to put this down on top of it. And I like to stick with repositionable tape whenever possible because since I'm not a measure and do the tedious little things all the time, then that way I don't mess things up. And this paper lends itself very, very well to being able to get it exact because check this out. I just did 2 lines of dots at the top and 2 dots of dots at the bottom. So it's super simple. Okay, so now I'm going to want to mat some pictures. And they're all 4 by 6 pictures. So I want 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats. So this is something that I probably teach every single crop somebody asks me how to do this. I have a little sticker I gave them that goes on the top that reminds them, but you know what? People still like to go over it again. So if you're going to do 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, then you just add those 2 numbers together. So that's 10 1/2. So I need to start with a 10 1/2 inch square. And so to figure out what size that square is, you just add those 2 numbers together. And that way, if you're ever doing like an odd one, like let's say you want to do 8ths or something, you'll know the math behind that. And then you always measure over to the smallest number. So 4 1/4. You're going to bring this down to 6 1/4. Now remember, it is 1 inch between the actual cut line and the front. So you always bring it down, the front of it down to 1 inch ahead. So then you're going to measure over to 4 1/4. You're going to bring this down to the front to 7 1/4, the actual cut line to 6 1/4, and you have mat number 1. After that, the measurement is irrelevant because it's going to go all the way to the edge. So measure over to 4 1/4 and just cut straight down. And you end up with 4 beautiful mats and a 1 inch square. So we're going to use these mats on the page. But I like to go over that as often as possible because it seems like no matter how many times I tell people, they still want to go over it again. And that's great. That means they still need me. So that makes me happy. Okay, so now we're going to take our pictures. And I'm going to use a peekaboo on this one. I'm also going to use a mat on this side. So over here it was all pictures. But of course, I need the story, right? This is my family. We are in London. We're getting ready to go see the palace. So, and my kids had not seen each other in nearly a year. And so it was a really special time. So I'm going to want to write about that, right? So I'm going to put these down on my page. And I want to mat my picture. And I'm going to want to mat my picture that's going to stay on the page. So we're going to do peekaboos here. So this is funny. These are the guards outside. And then these are what my husband calls the actual guards. See, they're in regular clothes and they're off to the side having their conversation and watching what's happening. These are the nice dressed up ones that are there for our fun, right? Okay. So this is the one that's going to go on the page. And this mat is going to show completely through my peekaboo. Whoops, I lied. That's the one I want on top. So this one is going to go on the page because it's more boring, but I still want to tell that story and about my husband telling the kids that. It was quite funny. Okay, so this one's going to go on. This one's going to go on. It's going to have peekaboos over top of it. Let me get this corner to go down a little better. There we go. And then I'm going to add this one over here. The mats are so fun. I mean, both sides of every single one are so cute. So it's really hard to decide what side of the mat to use. So you need 2 packs. That's what I'm trying to say. You need 2 packs. Of course, I have 4 packs because I'm doing this whole album in this. So, Okay, so now we got this. This is going to go up here. See how fast this can go together? I'll show the whole thing with both sides in just a second. So these are going to go in my peekaboo, but I have to wait until I'm ready to put my page protector on. So I need this next. Now, when you're cutting a circle in half, the thing to remember is that if you put it up against the top, then it's going to cut it into a perfect half every time. So there you go. Now, this was a really tiny circle and it like went in up there. So that is super simple. Microtip scissors for the win. If you don't have microtip scissors, I'm really sad for you and you should get some because they are a definite necessity. And then on this one, I'm only going to put the circle up top, overlap that a little right there, because my pictures are vertical on this side. I just had one vertical over here, so I could do it above and below. But over here, I'm doing 2 vertical pictures. I switched the sketch up a little. So I'm just going to put it up there, and that will pour together just fine. And then I'll have to come back and slide the page protector off because I need to write the story. I meant to do that before I did the live, but you know how life goes, right? Didn't get the story written, so that'll just be a simple slip the page protector back off. If you have never put page protectors on, I just slide it in there and then I use my body and go like this. Some people put a piece of cardstock over there to keep everything flat. So if you have a lot of puffy things on your page or a lot of things that are sticking up, snagging, then putting a piece of cardstock over it. But I tend to do fairly flat scrapbooking, so I just kind of use my body and shimmy it over there. The next thing about this is the peekaboos. So the little strip is always on the opposite side of the opening, and that's important because it can be kind of hard to find, right? So this way you don't have to worry that you are all for naught. And I always put this down before I put my picture in. So I fold, if you didn't see that, I folded it under and then I put it down. And what's really nice is that these are, you can pull them up a couple times and move them. Don't get too crazy with that. Eventually you'll wear off the stick, but you can move them a couple times without any problem. And I always do that first because sometimes I put my pictures in upside down, right? Because I can't remember which way it goes. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go like that. That reminds me how it's going to flip. I do want this picture to flip opposite. So it should be the opposite way. And then it's just going to slide right in there. And then I'm going to show you one more quick thing. So now that flips down. Now, have you ever been flipping through your album and these are flip-flopping all over the place, right? I love them, but sometimes, yes, the old file folders do the trick too. That's good. So I love these little clear corners. Any kind of photo corners is great. Now, they can be kind of tricky to put on there. I had a friend over shopping this past weekend, and I was trying to do it in front of her, and it's quite comical because anytime you try to do something in front of people, it's a little harder. But I just take the sticky, put it on my finger. I kind of slide it a little, get a little opening there, and I put it on the actual picture, not on the page, so I don't have to try to be an expert in lining things up, because then I just put it down, and now those corners are on my page. My peekaboo will not flip-flop. It stays down, and once I put it in and out a couple of times, it'll be a lot easier. La, 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 la. I love doing things on a camera with my head at a funny angle. You slide it back in there. And voila, you have your page done. So super fast, super simple. I love using the Fast to Fab with the sketches. Saves lots of money. Let's put these together again. So now I have my borders down the center. I have my pages off to the side. I turned the 1-page layout into a 2-page layout, which always brings me greater joy. And look how fun that is. Super, super fun. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week with the February Virtual Crop Sketch 2 and traveling through sketches the fabulous way. Have a great day.